Hey guys, this is RaedFrost and welcome to my look at what's coming up in patch 6.0.2. So, yesterday, September 30th, Blizzard announced the end of PvP Season 15. That means that in a couple of weeks, we should be getting the new patch for World of Warcraft. And this patch happens to be the pre-patch to Warlords of Draenor. As such, a lot of the mechanics and new UI improvements and everything that they're going to be adding on Warlords is going to be in this patch without it actually being the expansion itself. Just so we can get accustomed to all the changes that are coming, everything that entails changes to the classes, the glyphs, the UI improvements, all that good stuff. But without any of the actual new content for the expansion. That won't arrive until November 13th. But for the time being, I can take you through an entire look of everything that's coming so you can get prepared for when that patch actually hits. I can't tell you an exact date. I don't know if it's going to be next week or if it's going to be the week after next, or who knows, it might be in 3 weeks. I don't know, but it's definitely coming soon. And that's not Blizzard soon, it's like soon. So anyway, let's start off with one of the most important things that's coming with this pre-patch. The pre-launch event. The 6.0 pre-launch event. Now, if you recall, I actually made a video of this earlier with my Tauren Paladin Soltar. In this pre-launch event, players are going to be able to do some questing in Blasted Lands and eventually move on to Upper Blackrock Spire. And it's actually a special version of Blackrock Spire since it's going to be level 90 rather than level 100. So it's a revamp of Ubbers, and you'll be able to go in there and get eye level 550 loot. So any characters you have, any alts that don't have any Siege of Orgrimmar gear, that's probably the best way for you to get them geared up, aside from obviously Timeless Isle. Now, this quest line will actually give you several rewards. You can get a title, I believe. Well, there's a few achievements. Yes, there's an achievement for it. There's a title, and you get a battle pet from it. Now, this version of the Blasted Lands is gonna be phased. All right. So, what you see in the video is a level 90 character questing through this area. But no one that's low level will be able to see all these things running around, all these Iron Horde attacking the Blasted Lands. So you're gonna be safe. No need to worry. You won't be ganked by any NPCs or anything. This is a level 90 event, so no worries there. You can kill several of the bosses in the new 90 only version of Upper Blackrock Spire. And there's a few nice little loot drops that actually look like the old gear that used to drop from the classic Upper Blackrock Spire. But if you want to get that loot, and if you want to get started and see this content, you have to do it when the pre-launch event starts, because once Warlords hits, it's going to be gone, so you won't be able to get your title, you won't be able to get your achievement, and you won't get the battle pet. Alright, moving on. We got backspace improvements. So, I forgot to show this to people. In Warlords of Draenor, in the new expansion, you're actually going to be able to get an additional void storage tab. So, if you're someone like me, you're gonna you've already filled out your void storage. I mean, there's so much good gear out there, you don't want to lose anything. You want to keep everything for yourself, transmog your gear, have fun with it. Well, in Warlords, they've gone ahead and added another tab to void storage, so you don't have any problems with that. And even your bank, your regular bank, has a reagents bank where you can put all your crafting reagents. Anything from cloth, leather, or materials things like blood spirits and things like that. Anything that you use to craft anything, you can actually put in there. Aside from that, you can also stack items up to 200. Usually you would stack things like herbs and fish and meat and things like that up to 20, and then you have to use another inventory slot. Not anymore. Now you can actually stack them all the way up to 200. Now, whenever you actually loot any gray items in Warlords, or, well, in this case, the new Prepatch, you are gonna actually get a little gold coin icon on your trash, on all those gray items, letting you know that that's actually meant as vendor trash, which you can go ahead and sell without any problems. Aside from that, we also have the cleanup bags option in your bag interface, so you can actually organize all the items in your bags and have them nice and neat. And you can also select which bags you want certain things to be added to, like equipment, consumables, and such. Let's see. You also get like little borders on your items, letting you know if they're poor quality or legendary quality or rare or uncommon, things like that. And quest items. Quest items no longer take up space in your bags anymore. Any item that you would normally use for a quest, or rather any item that you actually loot for a quest, will no longer appear in your inventory. It's actually going to be part of the interface, and you'll be able to continue questing without worrying about running out of space in order to get the quest items. Now, another big change that's coming in the pre-patch is the new character models, and it's probably one of the biggest changes I'm looking forward to in the next expansion. Most of the races in Azeroth have received new high-definition character models with high-definition textures. Well, all except for the Blood Elves, the Worgen, the Pandaren, and the Goblins. So far, they haven't been touched. The Blood Elf models will be coming later on in the expansion, but for the time being, they're still going to be the same ones that you have from Vanilla. Well, Burning Crusade. So, if you don't like the new character models, as you saw in my UI improvement video, you can actually turn the new models off by going into your graphics options and basically just turning off the new high resolution models so that you can go back to the older models, the low polygon models. You can do this for nostalgia's sake, or maybe even to improve the rendering within the game itself in case you have an older system. As of the next patch, the barbershop is going to be offering new in-game face recustomizations. So you don't have to spend any real money in order to change the look of your character. You won't be able to change the skin tone unless you're a druid. But other than that, you can pretty much recustomize everything else about your character. Classes. All the classes are changing. In order to get a very thorough look as to what are all the changes that are coming, I strongly suggest that you check the patch notes. I'm going to be linking, I'm going to be putting a link on the description of this video so you can look up the patch notes, look up any changes that you want for your class or any class that you like to play so that you know what's coming. Everything is in there. It pretty much explains everything. Since we are on the release build, it's very unlikely that anything that's listed there will be changing in the next couple of weeks. But keep in mind, again, as I've always said, beta is beta, so some things may change. But for the most part, most of the changes revolve around consolidating abilities, removing redundant abilities, and basically making the classes feel a little bit more dynamic and giving you a lot more range, a lot more space for you to use your action bar for different things. It's not giving you as many buttons, but they feel stronger or as strong as they used to be. Now, along with the class changes, we're also seeing changes with the glyph system. Like I mentioned on my second video regarding Warlords of Draenor, some of the major glyphs that are most important for your class, you'll be able to actually learn as you level up. That doesn't mean you get to learn all the glyphs. Scribes can still sell lots of different glyphs, especially the minor glyphs, which have actually resulted in many curious and fun customization options to make your character even more fun to use. Now, along with those type of changes with the glyphs, we also get something called an exclusive glyph. And an exclusive glyph means that it is one of several glyphs that modify an ability and cannot have multiple active at once. So essentially, if you use one glyph that modifies one specific ability, you can't use another one that also modifies that one. And it'll actually let you know in the tooltip for that ability, much like I showed you in the Druid video I made. Now, certain glyphs are now specialization specific, meaning that if you're, let's say, an arms warrior, you can only use certain glyphs which are for arms. You can't use glyphs that are for protection or fury warriors. Same goes for protection and retribution paladins or restoration paladins and so on. Or is it holy paladins? I don't heal, guys. I don't know about healing, so excuse me if I make some mistakes. Now, aside from that, there's been some changes to the way certain buffs work. In some cases, certain buffs or abilities that provide buffs have been removed and consolidated with each other. And in other cases, you've also received buffs passively from your specialization. So, to get a really good feel as to what these changes are, please read the patch notes and stay informed. The Group Finder. The new Group Finder lets you create or find dungeon groups, raid groups, scenario groups, groups of people to do all raids, arenas, skirmishes, you name it, you should be able to find it there. It's basically a different way of getting people together server-wide, as far as I know. I did not believe it's cross-realm, although in beta it's really hard to test something like that because there's only 4 realms available, and as far as I know they don't cross realms, so it's really difficult to gauge how that's actually going to work. But at least realm-wise, you should be able to see people that are queued up for all sorts of different activities, and it's basically an in-game OQ tool of sorts. So you use it much like you would use the Dungeon Finder or the Raid Finder, except this is specifically for questing, dungeons, just to find other people with the same interests that you have, so that you can complete all sorts of different things within the game. These groups have to be pre-made in order for it to be queued within the tool. And the interesting thing about it is that when you actually create a group, you can actually select a minimum item level. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I don't want people going on asking to do a specific raid and asking for a ridiculous item level just so you can blow through the content. Guys, this is so that you can find friends, have fun, enjoy the fact that you actually get this in-game and you don't need to use external add-ons. In my opinion, OQ is still valuable, but for small things like questing, doing dungeons, or who knows, maybe just going through some old raids and you just want to meet new people that actually enjoys that content, well, there you have the Group Finder. Guilds. Guild leveling is being removed. Essentially, all guilds in World of Warcraft are going to be level 25. Some of the perks are going to be streamlined. Things like the flight paths, which move faster if you're in a guild, things like that. It's my understanding that they've removed the cash flow perk. I don't know why. I personally liked it because it always kept our guild bank with some gold lying around in case we finally decide to raid something and everybody wiped all the time. I guess they're gonna include some other way for us to add additional gold to our guild banks. But until they announce something, I'd rather not speculate. But besides that, from what I've been able to tell, the remaining guild perks that are still there are things like Mount Up, which increases your mount speed by 10%, Hasty Hearth, which reduces the cooldown of your Hearthstone by 15 minutes, the Quicken the Dead, which lets you get resurrected with more health and increases the speed with which you run to your corpse, Guild Mail or Gmail, which sends you mail instantly to another guildie, mobile banking, so you can access your guild bank remotely, and obviously mass resurrection. Item changes. With this pre-patch, we're going to be receiving the stat squish that everyone's been talking about. You're going to see smaller numbers, definitely, but you're not going to feel weaker. Trust me. Even though the numbers do seem a lot smaller than what you're used to, you're actually going to be able to do the same damage you did before, or who knows, maybe even more. And you should still be able to solo old instances, raids, things like that. Several stats have been removed from the game. Hit and expertise have been removed and have actually been converted into critical strike, haste, or mastery on existing gear. The way that hit works now is that all players have 100% chance to hit and 0% chance to glance when fighting creatures up to 3 levels higher. Dodge and parry has also been removed and converted into critical strike, haste, or mastery as well, or bonus armor on non-armor pieces, so rings, trinkets, things like that. In addition to that, all players now have 0% chance to be dodged and 3% chance to be parried. And obviously tanks receive additional damage reduction and chance to be parried. Stats have been modified. Spirit can only be found on non-armor pieces, so that would be neck pieces, rings, cloaks, and trinkets. Bonus armor can be found only on tank appropriate non-armor pieces. That also includes shields in this case, and this increases the tank's armor. So that's another way of mitigating damage without having to use dodge or parry. Weapons aren't really classified as armor per se. They are in fact non-armor, but they will not receive bonus armor or spirit. Gems, enchants, flasks, food, all of that has been affected by the itemization changes. All hit gems have been turned to crit, all expertise gems have become haste, so on and so forth. You can still upgrade your Mr. Pandaria epics, but that's about it. None of the gear in Warlords can be upgraded. But that's actually not coming into play in this pre-patch, so as such, you can continue to upgrade your armor if you want to get ready for November 13th and get as much gear as possible. Valor points are going to be taken away from the game, so in order to upgrade your armor, you're going to have to use the coin system, the coins that you normally get for the Warforged seals. You would use those to upgrade your armor. So I believe the cost for that would be 50 timeless not timeless coins. Well, you know the ones I'm talking about. I'll have to look it up. I forget the name, but the coins that you get from questing and all that 50 of those will upgrade your gear 1 level. Reforging has been removed from the game. Any gear that has been reforged will be returning to its reforged state. And for those asking, the mount, the yak mount, will have the reforger turn into a transmogrifier. Raid changes. As of the pre-patch, Garrosh Hellscream is gonna have a 100% chance to drop an heirloom for Euro loot specialization. So the moment that patch hits, up until November 13th, you will get guaranteed heirloom drops. Now, Siege of Orgrimmar is still gonna have 4 difficulties, but the names will be changing. The way that raiding is gonna work in Warlords is as follows. There's LFR, which is LFR. There's gonna be normal difficulty, which currently in the game is what we would know as flex rating. There's heroic, which is currently normal rating, and mythic, which is going to be the new tier, which is currently heroic. Now, the normal rates and the heroic rates are actually going to be flexible in size. You can scale from 10 and 30 players. Mythic rating is fixed at 20. So that would be heroic for you guys. Let's see. All the Siege of Orgrimmar heroic achievements will automatically convert to mythic with this patch, and will carry over in the next expansion when all the new raids come out and such. So you can get used to the system. The Dungeon Journal has actually been updated with all the information that you would need for all the different bosses, and it has an added bonus. As you saw in my Iron Docs video, the Dungeon Journal now actually features a list of things that you have to look out for depending on your role. Be you the tank, the healer, or just another damage dealer. Let's see. With the pre-patch, however, despite these changes coming to Siege of Orgrimmar, you will not be able to get the Korkron War Mount for defeating Garrosh. He will still drop the Mechanical Scorpion Mount, but I believe that as of the pre-patch, it's not going to be 100% drop rate on Heroic, or sorry, in this case, Mythic rating. I haven't been able to confirm that, but I believe that that happens to be the case. I'll make another video if this happens to change. Warforged seals will no longer be capped at 10. So if you have some extra coins lying around, if you have some seals in your, well, not inventory, but in your interface, and you haven't spent any, go ahead and get some more. Start going into Siege, get gear, get heirlooms, get everything, and work from there. Now, I've mentioned before, I'm not much of a PvP person, but this is some of the PvP changes that are coming. Skirmishes are coming back to World of Warcraft. In Burning Crusade, it was introduced as a form of unrated arena battling, and in Cataclysm, they turned it into war games. Skirmishes are going to be returning with this patch. Now, Blizzard actually discussed this in a blog regarding Warlords of Draenor PvP. So for more information, I would suggest that you go ahead and check that out, read up on it. The key facts for it are that the skirmishes are pretty much arenas, but without rating or ranking. Skirmishes will be added with this patch, and they offer 2v2 and 3v3, but not 5v5. Skirmishes can be queued for solo or in a party of 2 or 3, not 5. If you're matched with a partner you like, there's always an option to requeue with that partner. Now, these skirmishes are going to be awarding honor points. At level 100, they will reward honor points as well as boxes which could contain gear. They may also contain conquest points, gold, or even additional honor. The toy box. The toy box is gonna keep a collection of some of your favorite toys. As of right now in beta, there are a total of 222 toys which you can collect for the toy box. As of patch 6.0.2, you're going to be able to get a maximum of 156 toys. Collecting 150 of these toys will actually get you the Toy Master achievement and an extra toy, the Robo Nombulator. You can access the toy box via the collection button in-game, which also holds your mounts and your battle pets. To add an item to the toy box, all you have to do is right-click on the toy, and it'll jump right in there. Toys are going to be account-wide, so any character that has one particular toy will provide it to the rest of your characters. This actually covers a whole variety of items, like disguises, special spell effects, summon objects, banners, items that make your character emote, like the disco ball and all that, and also stuff that you get from the World of Warcraft TCG. Toys do not include mounts, pets, or anything like that. Also gear that gives you cool effects, and stackable items and teleports will not be part of the toy box. Now, several unobtainable items are in the toy box. These increase your total, but if you do not have the toy, it will not show up in the UI interface to frustrate you. So if you have a unique toy, it's gonna appear there, but don't brag if someone else can't see it on theirs. It's just sort of like a little feat of strength for you, except it's a toy. Not much of a feat, but you know. Transmog improvements. In Mr. Pandaria, polearms could only be transmogged to staves. Two-handed axes, maces, and swords had to be handled separately. As of right now, in the Warlords of Draenor beta, all of these weapon types can be transmogged over each other. So essentially, any two-handed weapon can become another two-handed weapon. Any one-handed weapon can also become any other one-handed weapon. PvP armor is probably some of the coolest armor in-game. And some of the previous season armor has actually been removed from the game previously. Well, no worries, as of this patch, Season 1 bracers, belts, and boots are going to be once again available in Area 52. Pandaria PvP vendors will now sell Season 12 to 15 gear for honor. And this is very notable because Season 13 gear is very unique looking, and there's no other way of obtaining it in the game. The elite PvP sets are not returning though. So, in addition to being able to solo Dragon Soul LFR, the Tier 13 Transmog sets are once again available. So if you like the colors of those sets, be ready to face Deathwing one more time. See if you get lucky with the drops, since you'll once again be able to get these fine looking sets. Undelete character. Now this is something that they've actually just announced, like I believe a week ago, and I tested it out in beta and it actually works rather nicely. Undeleting a character restores all the enchantments, gems, and items that the character had prior to being deleted. Characters on the level 10 and Death Knights at level 55 cannot be undeleted. Characters between the level of 10 and 29 cannot be recovered after 90 days. Characters between the levels of 30 and 49 will no longer be recoverable after 120 days, and any other character that's level 50 and above can be undeleted at any time. The only restriction to this is that you can only undelete a character once every 30 days. The auction house. The auction houses will all be merged, so you're no longer gonna have faction auction houses on any given server anywhere. Even the neutral auction house has been merged, so anything you put in any auction house, you'll be able to get from any other auction house. It doesn't matter if you're Horde, Alliance, neutral, whatever. You're gonna be able to buy and sell anything at any auction house. Of course, the black market auction house is a completely different story, so better have a lot of gold. Zone changes. As of this next patch, Orgrimmar is going to be free of Kor'kron presence. The troll area is once again free, and there are even new troll and Tauren guards running around Orgrimmar. The Blasted Land portals have been changed to Hellfire Peninsula portals, so that way you can choose to go to Draenor with the current changes of the Dark Portal, or you can go back to Outland by using the Hellfire Peninsula portals. Aside from that, new portals have been added in capital cities to the Shattered Beachhead in Blasted Lands. So this is where the pre-launch quest starts, and you should be able to take it from there. Now, aside from the other UI improvements that we've already discussed, there are a few other things that are going to be coming in this pre-patch. There's a new graphics setting specifically for raids and battlegrounds, as well as anti-aliasing. These are found under Systems, Graphics. The key binding section now has separate panels in order for you to check your movement keys, your chat, your action bar, your multi-action bar, targeting, so on and so forth. So everything in there is now in a separate category, so you don't have to scroll down the entire list so that you can access the one action that you want to re-keybind. There's also a new outline mode, which actually gives different characters and objects in the world an outline that basically gives you some clean information without having to look at the nameplate and such. This can be useful for questing, for certain professions, and also for easily identifying friend from foe. When you move with the map open, it remains open but turns transparent. People who had add-ons like Mapster and such would actually be used to this sort of interface. Well, now it's in-game and it's a lot more easy to use. It doesn't take up the entire screen, and it actually shows you the exact location of all the different and important quest objectives, hubs, extra bonus quests, flight paths, everything. And it even tells you where you can find the location of each and every quest that you have in your quest log. Aside from that, a What's New screen pops up when you first log on, alerting you of the popular features that are coming with the expansion, like the group finder and the new character models. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's pretty much everything that's coming in patch 6.0.2, the pre-patch to Warlords of Draenor. If you have any questions regarding any of these features, please leave them in the comments below. I'll try to answer any questions I can, and if there's anything I can't answer, I'll be sure to point you in the direction of someone who can. So as always, guys, like the video, comment, subscribe to my channel so you can see more updates, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.